Hello everyone, and welcome to Industry Giant 4.0. First things first, please allow me to say a big thank you to the developers for giving me a preview key so I can show you the game before it is released. Well, as you might have guessed, this is basically an industry building kind of game. Mainly, you will be placing down different industrial centers and you will have to hook them together with roads and trains and all that kind of stuff and deliver the end products to the cities, and that will make those cities grow. So, without further ado, let's just jump into it. There's a tutorial in the game. It is a little bit lengthy and it does a decent job at explaining the very basics. But you know what, let's just go and jump into a proper game. Small disclaimer, this is a pre-release version of the game, so there will be bugs and some minor issues, so just keep that in mind. For example, on the Twin Peaks map, I did notice that from time to time there is a message that pops up with some errors, so let's not do that, let's just use some of the smaller maps so we don't have to deal with that. Let's just leave everything on medium, I think that's going to be fine. And we are in the game. So I didn't manage to put the game into a 16:9 resolution. I have an ultra-wide monitor, and every game that I have showcased on the channel, I did manage to put them into a 16:9 aspect ratio. Here I didn't have that luxury, so there are things that are cut off on the side of the screen. On the left side we have, it is actually visible on the screen. We have the scenario goals, we have a small control showcase, basically what you can do with the current selection. In this case, we have the WASD and the rotation controls and all that kind of stuff. If you select something else, it will show the controls for that particular things. It's not really important. In the lower left corner, we have our money and our income. In the lower right, we have the speed controls, and on the right top side, we have the different overlays, and that's it. So nothing really all that important that is off screen at the moment. So anyways, I think this might be fixed later on, but in this pre-release version it is a little bit of a headache, but nothing excessive, I think. Anyways, this is one of the smallest maps on the game available at the moment. It is, I believe, 3 by 3 kilometers or something like that. We have 2 towns and lots of different regions. If you look at these regions, we can see different icons. For example, Howard Heights. It says it is expensive land, so it is a bit more expensive to build things around here. It is a heavy industrial zone, a light industrial zone, which means we can build, industries here. If you don't have these icons, we cannot build those industries. For example, in Upcountry and Heartland, these are agricultural zones, so we can only build farms here, not heavy industries. Also, this is a quartz deposit, so I suppose we can build quartz mines here and, mine zone. So if you want to determine where you want to set up your industries, you might want to keep these in mind. So what we need to do in this game is basically set up different kinds of production chains and deliver the end products to the towns. At the start, both of these towns are basically the same size, right? So town size 70, town size 70. So they are basically the same. They are requesting the exact same thing, so we might as well just choose which one we want to go for. I think I will go for... let's go for Blackham. Okay, so right now they are demanding groceries, fashion, textile clothes and wood shavings. I don't know what they need wood shavings for, don't ask. Maybe bedding for chickens or something like that, I don't know. Anyways, the easiest thing we can take care of right now is, the vegetables. First things first, we need to actually set up a shop that will sell those vegetables. So if you don't mind, I will set up, yeah, you know what? I will go for a medium grocery right away because over time this place will expand and might as well plan for the future. So let me see. I suppose right in the center makes sense. And there we go. Next, let's set up a farm. It is industry agricultural farm. Now there are a lot of different industries in the game, and I am not 100% sure if all of them is actually quite usable yet. Well, basically, once the game releases, it will come out in early access. For example, it says copper deposit, but I don't really see which one of these would actually make use of copper. We can mine certain stuff, but I don't really know. I think most of the different other industries will be added later. For example, electronics would make sense later, and those kinds of things. For now, we are starting in 1950, so yeah, I don't think things will unlock over time, maybe as the early access progresses. So anyways, let's build a farm. As you can see, if you're trying to place these down, only the agricultural zones are available for this purpose. So what I will do is, I will suppose here should be okay. Now, I will place this one down. Don't worry really too much about spacing in between buildings. Just leave a bit of space and that should be okay, because let me just show you. We can set up different production lines. In the farm's case, it is basically, we can place down some farms. So let's place down 5 fields. There we go. And well, one production line for in case of the farm is basically 5 fields. And we can add 2 more production lines. So basically we can only place 15 fields for one farm. Maybe later during the early access it will change, I don't know, but at the moment of release, this is how things are. And well, as you can see, 5 fields don't really take up all that much space, so yeah, just plan for 15 fields amount of space and you will be just fine. Anyways, if you remember, this town demands unpacked vegetables. Well, that is easy enough. We just click on the farm and use these 5 farms to create unpackaged vegetables. Now, there is one big thing about this game. You can min-max the productions. And here's what that entails. As you can see, we have a uniform production set up at the moment. So basically, over the course of the year, we are producing 2,000 units of these vegetables. That's great, but this spreads out over the entire year. So basically, let me just split this up into smaller sections. This basically means that during the spring, we will make 500, during the summer, 500, during autumn, 500, and so on and so forth. And if you take a look at the town, yeah, might as well just save the setup. It says 2,380. But if you break it down into quarters, it will say that during the spring, they will demand 700, during the summer, 490, during autumn, 490, and during winter, 700. So if you really want to min-max things, you could tell the farm to basically produce just barely enough to satisfy those needs in the town according to the season. Yeah, if you really don't want to spend money on excess production at certain parts of the year, you can really adjust these kinds of things. So for example, here you can lower the amount. At some point you can also raise it, but at the moment it is only 500. Anyways, so we have a source of vegetables. So overall, let me just put this together now. We don't need to break it down into smaller segments. So 2,000, and the town requires, yeah, 2,300. Now, Food is a special product because it is perishable, which means that over time it will go bad. This doesn't apply to certain other stuff, for example, wood shavings or clothes. Those don't go bad, but food does. So I would strongly advise not to overproduce food, because if you make too many, you will basically spend too much money on stuff that will eventually just rot. So anyways, what we need to do next is hook this place up to the road network. And there we go, road. It is a very simple system. You start here, lay down segments, and hook it into the road network just like this, and done. Next, well, trucks will operate out of a depot. So what we can do is place this one down. Yeah, at the moment there is no terraforming in the game. Basically, if you place down a building, it will deform the terrain according to its needs, but you cannot smooth it out or anything like that. Maybe later this feature will be added. Don't ask me, I don't know, but that will make sense, I suppose. So for now, this is it. Next, we will need to buy some vehicles. So we will make a contract. We need to select a depot. We only have a single one at the moment. And I will order, might as well order a bit of extra. So let's go for 10 small trucks. Although we could go for bigger ones. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go for bigger ones, because I think the maintenance cost over time will be better for us this way. Basically, the big ones can carry twice as much as the small ones, and they don't cost twice as much, and the maintenance will also not be twice as much. So yeah, I think maybe in the long run, bigger trucks will be better for us. Yeah, so let's just sign. Now, here you can choose how long the delivery should take. The default is 30 days, but if you really want to these trucks to be delivered extra fast, you will have to pay a premium. Or if you don't mind them arriving a bit late, then you can buy them at a discount. I will buy them at, yeah, 30 days should be fine. There we go, sign. They will arrive in 30 days. In the meantime, let's just set up a line. So we have the shop and we have the farm. Since we don't need to process these foods, we can deliver them directly. That's going to be fine. So lines, new truck line from the truck depot. Basically, lines operate a little bit not like in other games. First, set up the stops. So from the farm to the shop, and you will deliver the unpackaged vegetables. Done. So basically in this game, instead of trucks, basically we don't have to assign trucks to the line. They will be automatically assigned from the truck stop. And we can also limit when these trucks can operate. So if you go in here, we can tell them, okay, don't operate during the summer or autumn. And they will only operate during spring and the winter. If you want to do that kind of extreme fine-tuning, you can do so. I'm really hoping that in the future this will be a little bit more gradual instead of just, seasons. Because, well, to get into the very, very fine details, it would be better if we had a bit more control over these. But, well, this is it for now. Also, I just forgot, we need to deliver 2,000 units of food per year. So if you don't mind, I will tell this to deliver 2,000 instead of just 1,000. Okay, so right now we are delivering every single piece of food that we are making, and that's great. Now, it does take a bit of time for the few food to appear, so yeah, you can really fine-tune things if you really want to. Anyways, what do we need to do next? Demand, well, we could either do clothes or these wood shavings. You know what, yeah, let's just assume that this is a farming town and they need these wood shavings to, I don't know, for beddings for chickens or something like that. Anyways, Well, wood shavings are a bit more complex than agriculture. Let's set that up real quick. Thankfully, there is a production chain search. Here you can select the stuff that you want to make. So for example, wood shavings, it will give you every single piece of building that is involved in that particular chain. So for example, the logging camp, which will give us the wood, and the sawmill, which will give us the wood chips from wood. And of course the hardware store, which will actually sell the wood chips. You know what, let's just go ahead and place that one down first. So it will be ready, because yeah, I am not exactly, when I was testing the game, I was a bit scatterbrained when it was coming to placing down the shop. So there we go. So now we have a destination for the wood chips. Next, let's place down the sawmill. This will be a building that has a train station, so we might want to keep that in mind. So yeah, this is a, let me see, yeah, it is a light industry, as you can see on the side, so we can build it in these zones. It would be better if it was close to the truck station, so basically the trucks don't have to go too far to pick things up. I think maybe right around here makes sense. There we go. Okay, so first things first, let me hook it up to the road network. There is a thing you can do with the roads. By default, they will try to make the road as level as possible, basically a consistent gradient from start to finish. But if you hold shift, it will try to adhere to the elevation of the actual terrain instead of trying to build a gentle gradient. So anyways, I think this will do just fine. Right. Okay, so let's set up the production chain, the production for the wood shavings. It is, yeah, right at the end. Apply. Now, how many wood shavings do we need for the town? This one is non-perishable, so it is okay to actually overproduce this. So it is 210. Let's go for 300, I suppose. Let's plan for the future. So we need to tell this place to only produce 300 per year. That is all we need. Apply. Next, this place will require wood. Thankfully, it is a one-to-one production, so we only need 300 wood for this to operate. And well, wood is a product that we will overproduce quite extensively, but I think that's going to be fine. So first things first, we will need a logging camp. In terms of distance, I suppose this will be just fine. Now, in this case, we don't need to hook this one up to the road network because we will deal with this by trains. So it is built. This is another one of those buildings that require a secondary building. So logging camps, I suppose, here, here, and here. And you will give us, well, as you might have guessed, wood. But if you remember, we only need 300. So let's not overproduce this. This will be fine. Apparently the absolute minimum is 400. You know what, fine. 400 it is. Next, well, might as well show you what it is like to set up some trains. Railroad, go from here to here, that's it. And yeah, if you look at this, you can see, but by default, it will try to build a big bridge because, well, we are bridging over a terrain that dips down immediately after the logging camp and right next to the sawmill as well. But if we hold shift, it will try its best to adhere to the terrain. So let's go here, and from here we can go up. I think that will have to be acceptable. Yeah, it's not the greatest, but yeah, it will do the job. Next, we will need a train depot. I think I will put it, yeah, right behind the sawmill will be fine. There we go. Let's just hook this together real quick. And done. Let's set up a line. You know what? First, let's order the trains. So contracts, let's order in the train depot. Here we have a choice of a train with 4 cars or 8 cars. Let's go with 4 cars because I don't expect, but it's a very short delivery, so yeah, this will be fine. 5 or, you know what, 5 should be fine. Yeah, let's order 5 of these. It's going to be overkill, but I think in the long run it's going to pay out. So line, new train line from the train depot. And the stops will be the logging camp and the sawmill. And you will be delivering wood. And yeah, we only need, well, we are making 400 wood, so let's just deliver every single piece. That's going to be fine. And there we go. Once the trains arrive, they will get to work. So we are making the wood shavings, so we need to deliver it to the town. We will do it with trucks, of course, because, well, shops don't have rail access. So if you don't mind, a new truck line from the truck depot and from the sawmill to the hardware shop. And you will be delivering wood shavings, but well, we are only making, you know what, let's deliver 400 because, well, we are bringing in 400 wood, so this will be fine, and might as well reset this production chain so we can use every single piece of wood. And there we go. So we are using every scrap of wood in this sawmill. We will overproduce the wood shavings a little bit, but the town will grow, so I think it's going to be fine. And well, that is basically the general idea of the game. You know what? I will actually rebuild this road because I don't really like the way it looks. In fact, I will just leave it like this. I don't like this one either. Yeah, now it's fine. You cannot see on the side, but there are overlay icons. For example, storage overload. If there is a feature of the game where, well, storages don't really have a limit to their capacity, but technically there is. Let me say no, what about you? There we go, capacity. So theoretically, this grocery shop can only really store 1250 units of, well, groceries. But you can actually overload these storages. But if you do so, you will have to pay a penalty. And, well, this is where the fine-tuning really comes in. So if you really want to, you can overproduce stuff and it's not going to result in overflow. So basically you can create as much wood as you want and deliver as much as you want into the sawmill. You will keep just piling it in, that's fine. You can still make wood shavings. So basically you cannot crowd out the end product. But if you overstuff the storages, you will have to pay a extra maintenance penalty, basically. So just keep that in mind. Anyways, so we are doing a good job of delivering the groceries. How are we on these? So now we have some wood shavings. Let me see, did I set that one up correctly? Yes, I did. Oh, right. So because we are delivering so few items per year, the trucks will not really go out for a delivery all that often. So basically the way the lines work in this game is that instead of assigning trucks to the different lines and they will go back and forth indefinitely, they will basically use the depot as their parking spot, and based on the amount of stuff you want to deliver, they will go out at set intervals and they will try to deliver just enough of stuff to satisfy that amount of delivery for that quarter, for example. And you can really fine tune this. So for example, in the food shop, we have, oh, sorry, not in the food shop, in the town, Blackham demand. If you remember, the quarterly demands are different. We need to deliver a bit more food during the spring and winter, but a little bit less during the summer and autumn. So basically, you can set up several different lines. For example, you can set this one to only operate during the spring and deliver the same exact amount of food that is required for spring. Save it and name it Blackham Vegetable Spring, for example. You know what? Let's do it. So Blackham Veg Spring. So you can tell this one not to deliver any other season, just during the spring. And well, you can set up 4 different lines and you can tell them to deliver different amounts based on the time of year, basically. I don't want to do this right now, but you get this, you get the idea, I think. So how is the town? Okay, it is actually growing, and that's great. To get the most out of this, I suppose we could... okay, the wood shavings are fine, I think. We are basically making almost double the amount that we need at the moment. I suppose we could overload it in the other town, but I think this town will grow fairly quickly now, so I think it's going to be fine. Yeah, we can overload this storage a little bit. Yeah. But what we can do next is some clothing. This is another one of those slightly more complex production setups. You know what, let's do it. So in here, I suppose we can set up another set of fields. As I said, don't really worry about the space. Just place down 5 fields and there we go, done. And this time we will create cotton. This is going to be 1000 per year. I don't think we will need that much. Well, let me just check. So we are required to make, let's say, 2000 clothes. That is being done. Let me just select textile clothes. There you are. So we need a textile factory. You know what? Yeah, let's set it up. I suppose if you can squeeze it in here, can I do it? I did see a blue. There we go. Okay, just barely managed to do it. Let's hook it up to the road network. Road, just like this, done. Also, I will turn off the overlay. So 2000 clothes production. Let's set that up real quick. So textile clothes, only 2000 is all we need. Done. Well, we also need, we need 2 textiles to make 1 clothes. Thankfully, we can set up the textile production right here. So to make 2000 clothes, we will need 4000 textile per year. Can we do it? Not quite. Well, if we overclock it, it's only 3000. You know what? Let's just set up two separate production lines for textiles. Two separate production lines for textiles and one for clothes. These textile factories will require, well, they require one cotton for one textile. So basically we need 4,000 textiles to satisfy this factory. And I don't think we are quite there. Basically, this farm will only give us 1,000. So to satisfy this need, we will actually need at least, 3 more production lines for cotton. So, well, if you remember, we can only have 3 production lines per factory. So I suppose that means that might as well just go ahead and build one more agricultural farm. You will be facing this way, I suppose. There. Let's just quickly build a road there and a little bit longer. There we go. Perfect. So let's make this a reality real quick. Yeah, you can actually go out of bounds a tiny bit, but don't get too carried away. So anyways, we will need 3 more cotton production lines. And done. It is it will be underway in the spring. We cannot start a production mid-season basically. Okay, so yeah, let's start setting up the actual deliveries. So for this one, we will actually need at least 2 lines, one from this farm and one from this farm. And the amount that we will need to deliver, I think these amount of trucks will not be enough. So anyways, new truck line from this depot and from this farm to the textile factory. From this farm, we can only deliver 1,000 cotton, so this line is fine. But from this farm, we will need 3,000, so new truck line from the depot there, and this line will have to deliver 3,000. Apply. And let's take a look. If it, yeah, all of these trucks are reserved, or it says will be auto assigned, but I am not quite so optimistic. So you know what? Yeah, let's just order. I suppose 5 more. You know what? No, 10 more big trucks, just in case. Okay, so this will supposedly be enough to satisfy the textile factory. Now we need to deliver the actual clothes. Well, that should be fairly easy. Basically, the different production lines can interfeed with each other, so the textile will be automatically added to the textile clothes production line. That's going to be fine. So line. Set up a new truck line. Of course, start at the depot, and you will go from the textile factory. Oh, right. We also need a clothing shop. Once again, I am starting to get a little bit scatterbrained because, well, we need a fashion. There we go, a fashion shop. I would try to, I suppose here should be okay. Yeah, there we go. So this line, start at the textile factory and drop things off in here. And you will be delivering the textile clothes, of course. And yeah, 2,000. Apply. So the thing is that, well, if you take a look at the cotton production, as you can see, it has 2 production happening per year. So I don't think it really makes sense to have deliveries during the spring, during the summer or the winter. once the productions are finished, then they will become available for pickup. So I suppose we can limit the cotton deliveries to spring and to autumn. You know what, let's do that. So cotton deliveries, you guys only operate spring and autumn. Apply, and the other one as well. There we go. So they will only deliver stuff once we actually have some stuff to deliver. But technically, if we spread it out over the year, then, well, it will be stored in the farms, and they will be gradually taken over to the production facility. But if we limit the deliveries to only 2 seasons, they will be picked up pretty much immediately. At least that is the hope. Okay, well, let's take a look. What is the production of these? Yeah, we still need to wait through the summer for this to finish. Also, I'm really hoping that during the early access period, the developers might want to rethink how the farms operate, because I don't think it really makes sense to have crops being made during autumn and winter. I mean, there are certain crops that can be, planted before winter and they will bloom, I don't know, during the summer or things like that. But, I think it would make sense to have a semi-realistic growing period for different kinds of plants. So yeah, there are a lot of things that I think will be changed, at least hopefully. So let's take a look at the town. So Blackham, yeah, it is growing very, very slowly. I suppose things should pick up as soon as we start delivering the clothes. And also, as you can see, the town grew, so now we have some extra things that we can deliver. For example, we can deliver shoes. They will also come out of the textile factory, and we can deliver wooden tools. Basically, it is a similar setup that we have here, but instead of a sawmill, we can have, well, a tool factory. I believe those also take raw wood. Also, by the way, how is the stocks in the shop? So storage, we can take a look at the stocks and it will actually tell us, well, what is the state of those deliveries. So for example, we only have a single delivery in the shop and it is fresh, so I am very happy to see it. But if we were to produce a little bit extra food and we were trying to deliver all that, they will start piling up in the shop and basically they will start going bad. And we want to avoid that from happening. So there are certain things that you can overproduce and certain things that you really shouldn't. So yeah, what is my overall expression of the game? I think it really needs a couple of extra quality of life features. For example, instead of this kind of a delivery method, I think it would be better if we had a, well, maybe an on-demand kind of a system where instead of trucks leaving periodically at, well, set intervals, maybe we could have the trucks being sent out as soon as they can pick up a full load or something like that, or maybe just have a dedicated line of trucks going back and forth continuously, and that could also work. I don't think this kind of system is really, well, it does allow you to fine-tune things, but it is a little bit too much of a micromanagement, at least for my liking. I do like micromanagement, but maybe not this much. And I do really like that you really need to keep an eye on the freshness of the produce and things like that. I think that is pretty great. Let me see. Also, there is this durability. Oh, right. Okay. You also need to keep an eye on the, well, the damage of the goods. So basically, don't try to push it through too many transports during the production chain. So we are only making a single delivery for these foods, so they will arrive practically undamaged to the shop. But for example, if we have a logistics center here, basically, let me just show you, we have these warehouses. So for example, if we have a big farming estate in here, we cannot, but theoretically, and we deliver the foods by train to a logistics center, and we were delivering the foods from the logistics center to the shops, that would be at least 2 deliveries. And that might, let me just take a look. Storage, okay, no more food in here. There we go. So I think that would actually drop it down into correct territory. So you might want to keep an eye on those as well. So there are quite a few intricacies to this system, but I am not 100% sure that it is quite implemented the way it really should be. Well, don't forget, the game will come out in early access, so I think after it is out, I'm really hoping that the developers will start listening to the community and, well, heed what they are saying, because yeah, I am really seeing some future for this game, but at the moment I don't think it is quite where it needs to be. So anyways, this was a small quick look at the game. If you want to buy it, it will be available on Steam, and well, I suppose you can decide for yourself if you want to invest or not. Personally, I would say wait a little bit, maybe a couple of months. Let's see how far the developers can take it from here. There are quite a few stuff that we can build, but unfortunately the towns are not quite advanced yet. So right now we can only make some extra shoes and some tools, but we will need to wait for these towns to grow even more before they actually start demanding some more complex stuff. So that is not in the purview of this particular video. So anyways, I think you have a pretty good idea what this game is about. I believe all that is left to say is that thank you for watching. If you like the video, you can leave a like, leave a comment, and maybe subscribe to the channel if you want. If you would like to support me a little bit more, you can do so by clicking the join button and becoming a channel member, which will give you an early and ad-free access to these videos. Once again, thank you for watching and thank you very much for your support. I will see you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.